has swung to the opposite extreme. 100%. I've seen men who have done nothing. I've seen men that have placed a hand on a woman's back and have been called into HR. I've seen lies women have told. Men have lost their jobs because of it. So, right, the tensions are very high because now it's believe all women, hashtag. I mean, I can't believe that that hashtag even exists. Like, there's literally a hashtag that says believe all women, when really we don't take into account women who have BPD or narcissistic personality disorder or any of those personality disorders that could contribute to a woman just flat out lying to ruin a man. So I really do think that we are in a very, very, very weird time when it comes to men and women. The tensions couldn't be higher.
I think she's hitting the nail on the head with these talking points. So I just want to say, bravo. She is hitting the nail on the head with these talking points so far. She doesn't miss in the beginning. It's only towards the end. But also understand how women move, gentlemen. They soften you up in the beginning with relatable talking points, trauma bonding, whatever needs to be done, trying to sympathize with you, whatever. So that way when they hit you with the but or however or the whatever. And remember, when someone says but, it negates everything before it. But anyway, you know what I mean? You know, when they say but or they say in addition to, they're going to hit you with the he. They're going to hit you with that three-piece. What's going on? I got the volume up too loud. They're going to hit you with it hard, okay? So just because they're saying stuff that you agree with in the beginning, just take it with stride, okay? Because she's building up and she's getting somewhere, okay? And you'll see it. It all come together. Remember, hit the like button, share the live, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all.
So men are really being forced, some of them, into this part of the world and this part of the internet where they're having to make some decisions. I can either put myself in the line of fire. After a divorce, I was taken advantage of. All these things happened. I gave my life to a woman, and they're just basically checking out. But I don't necessarily think they're checking out on themselves, because a lot of these men are getting their fitness in check.
So remember, okay, remember I told you earlier in the earlier video to pay attention to not really what women say, but how they move. The way she's moving right now, we're being noticed. What are we always talking about? Fitness, being on your purpose, you know, getting closer to God. They're noticing this, gentlemen. What did I tell you the other day? How they got a bird's eye view. See, this is our problem. A lot of men take women for granted, and they see them in their phones and they're thinking they're just cheating. They're not just doing that. They're looking at things from a bird's eye view. That's how a lot of women stay on top of their fashion and stuff like that. They check out like celebrities or trending stuff that everybody ain't onto yet, try to jump onto it, be the first one to get onto it before their friends so they can go ahead and brag about it. So they're able to see trends as well, like as far as movements or whatever, and they're seeing the writing on the wall. You know, they're hearing it, and so they're just like, okay, they're being proactive, right? You know, so they're trying to make their moves and kind of like get their bids in, but the problem is they're putting too much verbiage attached to it. It needs to be, hey, look, we see what you guys are doing, and we're going to do what needs to be done to, you know, make you guys want to come back around. Not, we see what you guys are doing. I also went through this. You don't want to go too far because you'll end up on the same type of level as the gynocracy, but on the other end of the spectrum where you're just all about not liking women. We don't want to hear all that, man. We don't want to hear all that. Okay? I don't care what you think, you know, respectfully. You know, I don't care what you're thinking. Men and women don't think the same, respectfully. So if we're making this movement, we cannot let you start, because what did I tell y'all? Their weapons are their words. So if they start breaking us down into thinking that we're doing something wrong or we're going to end up being jaded, don't worry about how we end up. What you need to be worried about is getting those females in line and making sure that the ladies and the women are in the forefront, being louder than them. Get them in check. Don't worry about us and what we're doing. We'll let you know when we're ready to come back to the table. What we're not going to do is that women lead us from behind with all this fancy verbiage and getting into our mind. We're not doing that, okay? Hey, look, I'm a general on this battlefield, okay? You cannot put nothing in the words that I'm not going to pick up on. And I got the men's back. You're not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Working. They are focused on their career. They're not dating anymore because it was terrible for them. So they're good. Like, they're not necessarily missing women because they can either pay for it or they can get their needs met other ways, but they're missing kind of the drama that some women can bring. And I don't think that they're necessarily very sad about it. And I don't blame some of them. Society keeps reminding.
Another good point that she made, and remember these points. She understands why we walked away, and she understands that basically we're avoiding the drama that most women bring. Now, when she tries to bring this together, I'm going to have a counter for her point, okay? I always do. But watch how the conversation is moving. Pay attention to the way that she's moving, not so much as the words, because some people, like I've said before, they specialize in speaking very soft, very monotone, very nice, eloquent, and at the same time they're saying some stuff that you really should be paying attention to.
Them that the future is female, that women are being pushed to attend STEM schools. I was given jobs over male counterparts because at one point, as a female, I was considered a diversity and equity and inclusion person, which, okay, right? Like, we have even things out. I was hired for a job that there were, 50 men in the
Building relatability.
sales force, and I was the number 2 female. So we did have to go through this time where things kind of even themselves out. But it's almost as if now women are like reveling in the power of that, and reveling in the fact that it's like there can't be equality. It's now I have to put a man down. I have to be better than a man in order to have power, or in order to feel.
Another great point.
Another
great point that she's making. They've basically, like I've said, and she said in her own way, that they're basically colonizing even the bad parts of us where we were, so-called oppressing them. Now they're doing it, right? And they're enjoying it. They're basking in it. You know what I'm saying? They're basking in it. They're able to destroy men from their jobs, to going to the gym, to, their name for themselves, off of, fake allegations or whatever they want to over embellish or whatever. And they're basking in it. So they went from being oppressed to being a slave master, right? To all men. It's crazy. Hey, what's going on, homie? What's going on? Man, I'm doing great. I wasn't even planning on doing the podcast tonight, but I heard this video and I had to drop one because I'm supposed to be on TikTok right now, but I had to drop this one. I appreciate you joining me.
Feminism and all of this is worth it. It seemed to have gotten so hostile, and women, I think some women have contributed to that. There was this women's march video that people were slamming sticks and, chanting, and it almost looked like a group of men. It looked like a parade of men just stomping around. And
she needs to be more specific. A parade of men doing what? A parade of men doing something like, holding the American flag and saluting whatever, or a group of males doing something wrong. See, again, conflation. You gotta like separate the two. You can't just put us all in the same box. This is how I go through listening to women talk. This is what I do. I'm just giving you guys a live example because it doesn't matter what they're saying. I can read between the lines. I'm just showing you guys what I can see. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I guess if you go back to the burning of the bras and the liberation of women, we accomplished those things. But now do I think that we need it? Now do I think that it's necessary? Now are men, kind of like going, what's going on? Okay, fine. If you don't need us, then good luck. Go ahead. Like, be a plumber, be an electrician, be a lineman, and go service the electric.
Okay. Make sure you pay attention to this point she's making, okay? This is like the point that I keep making and saying things like, if these women really don't like us, leave us alone. She's making her references. It's the same thing. Build your own infrastructure, go ahead and, do your own plumbing, take over some of these jobs like the satellite repair where the guys, hundreds and hundreds, of feet in the air, can barely even see the ground. Go do that stuff, that high risk, you know what I'm saying, type of jobs, instead of, you know, relying on men to do those jobs while saying you can't stand men and you cannot be around men and men aren't needed. It makes absolutely no sense.